Hello everyone, this is part 3 of the project breakdown of Dennis Fake Disease, the recording part, or the recording project, which is done in Garageband. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing Garageband videos, I probably will, but I might as well do them anyway. I might as well break down every single project, even if you're just seeing the same thing. Somebody might just be curious to see this specific project, so I mean, it'd be nice to have it, even if it's a bit repetitive. Um, so this is the lead vocal. I've muted the background track. So let's just. So this song's been set to 98 BPM in the project, so it's easy to measure. When you export the files, it will just slot into GarageBand easily because everything is fixed to the beats per minute. So so this file is the mix down that's not mastered from Cubase. From Fruity Loops, then to Cubase, and then to Cubase into here, so we can finish the final part. Actually, let me just see. There's actually some parts I need to show you in here. So first we'll show you the lead vocal, which I showed you briefly. This is nothing's been added to this. There's nothing added at all. There's no reverb or anything added to it. It's all dry. I think there might be some maybe compression added to it. Oh no, actually there's a little bit of reverb added to it according to this control. A little bit of reverb there. A little bit of ambience here. You can't really see it because my video's in the way. But when she told me she loved me, and I sung her a melody, was such a fool to believe that she would. So what you can see here, I took different takes. I didn't take multiple takes. How do I put it? I didn't take multiple takes. I didn't record the song 4 times of me singing, and I picked the best sections. I just basically relied on singing it good as long as I could, and then when I make a mistake or it's not as good for recording, sometimes it's not a mistake. Usually it's not a mistake. It's just it doesn't sound as good in the recording. I mean, live that's okay, but when you got a final recording, you want it to be perfect. So that's why there's these cuts. I've basically put a better take in, and then I've just pasted it over, and that's what you see. That's what you're seeing. Me. I felt the stab of jealousy, and it's all the breakdowns. There's no EQ. Hold on, there is an EQ on this track. Yep, because my voice is too much bass apparently, but I didn't really put that in there. But for some reason, it's there. I wonder I've actually added some. I've actually increased the mid frequency here, increased the mids there, increased the low and the high. Well, I don't really know what I've done there, and I've put a little bit of squeeze on there. She was driving me crazy. That's probably I know why these settings are. I couldn't believe. It's because I added the preset from the library called narration vocal, and that's why all these have been tweaked. And I the reason why I added narration vocal would cheat on me. It just increases the presence of the vocal. It's like adding saturation to the vocal. Think of it as saturation. It's a bit like adding saturation without adding saturation. And And then this is the background vocal. It's named lead vocal complement. And it's in the city in 1987. Got the breaths in there, which I can later choose to keep in there.
So she went off with the doctor and tried to bribe the doctor so she could get away from me.
It's got quite a lot of presence, the vocals there. And then we'll switch on the background vocals. Just to...
And I sung her a melody. It was such a fool to believe that she would love me. I felt the stab of jealousy in the city. She was driving me crazy in 1987. I couldn't believe she...
So, you get the idea. You got the centre, it's named centre background vocal there, this one. This is the left background vocal, and this is the right. But what you'll notice here, these are the panning controls. None of these have been panned because I've made the decision to export each separately, and then I'm going to pan these will be instructions. When I put them into Cubase, I will pan it to the left, this vocal, and then I'll pan this one to the right, and then you'll get stereo width in the vocals, and you'll get the nice chorus sound of three vocalists singing on top of each other. And then if we listen to it with the music,
It was such a fool to believe that she would love me. I felt the stab of jealousy in the city. She was driving me crazy.
Okay, so that's that. Now the right vocal here doesn't have any effects on it. The left one doesn't have any effects. This one doesn't have any effects. And this one doesn't have any effects either. It's only the lead vocal here where I've added narration vocal. So I'd make the lead vocal have much more presence, so it infects the ears more when you're listening on headphones. Just makes the vocal pop out more. So I mean, this is more of the same here later. It's not going to be a long video, this, 'cause it's not much to show. But it's just worth knowing that there's a track here, so I know the timings of the song, so I can prepare oven-ready vocals for the project to be added in, so I can finally mix it into the final mix down of the song. So, and these will be all exported and put into Cubase. So, when we go here, we will... Now this, I recorded the keyboard, and I think I cut it. And if we add it actually now this is a recording of the keyboard, which I added dance vocal to. I added from the library dance vocal just to make it more reverb, so it's not going into Cubase completely dry. But I do add. I don't think I add anything in Cubase. That's it. I put the dance vocal in this, and it's ready to go. So that's just a nice frequency to add, and funnily enough, even though it's a synthesizer, you can hear it's a synthesizer. And I also recorded this version here. I mean, that's a little bit too loud for the mix, but I will correct it later in Cubase, as you see in the video part 2. What's worth noting about this one is I've only recorded the chorus once, and the chorus is played twice. So guess what will I do? You just do the oldest producer trick in the hat. You just double it, because it's exactly the same time. It's not a live version. If it was completely live, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd have to do 2 takes. You'd have to do for the first verse and for the second verse, because otherwise it may sound a bit out of time. But this version is not completely live. I mean, the keyboard being played there is live, but it's being played live to the track. So it means that you could just duplicate it in the project, which is what I done for the second chorus and for the first chorus, because they're both the same. They're both almost identical. But I believe I took different vocal takes. Let me just see. 1, 1, 3, 4. Yes, they're 2 different vocal takes. And for the background vocals, they're 2 different takes. So if you look here, this is the chorus. And if you look at the first chorus and the complement vocals, the background vocals, you can see the waveforms are slightly different, which meant I did keep some form of live element in the second chorus. Mind you, there isn't a third chorus actually, no. That's not correct. No, I didn't need to duplicate this keyboard, because this keyboard is played again here. So actually I didn't actually duplicate the keyboard. So the song is entirely this keyboard here, which is played on my Yamaha synthesizer, the vintage one, also used in the song Tragic Theme, was basically this doesn't sound so good because it's not been mixed properly, but that's because this is just for the purpose of recording this project. So yeah, I put Cosmic thing. Really, it's just called Cosmic. It's just called Cosmic. So actually the keyboard that I record into this song is completely live, because you can't do it in MIDI. Well, you could, but it'd just take longer. It'll take a lot longer. It's easier just to play it. And plus it adds a slight live element to it, because we are trying to make this song sound like it was done by a live band. That's going to be controversial. I would recommend, if possible, you get an actual live band. I'd still recommend that. But the reason why I didn't do it is because it's expensive. It's expensive to do. And I wouldn't have made this album for sure. I might have been able to make 2 or 3 songs off it, or what I would have had to do is just work my arse off. It'd be different. I wouldn't be spending as much time on music. I'd be spending time like working 60 hours a week and then just trying to get these songs done on the side, and using those hours to fund the projects, fund it to pay the producers and stuff. And that would be a lot more expensive, and it would require me probably just to work just as hard. So there's no shortcuts, I'm afraid. There's no shortcuts in this. This is the way I did it, and I've probably learned more by doing it, and if anything, I haven't had to work as hard. Because yeah, okay, you can get people to do it for you, and it will sound arguably better. It might even sound worse, because when you're at a lower level, you can't afford the best producers and the best musicians, so it might actually end up sounding worse. Whereas this, you can just control everything. You can control all the instruments that you're doing. So, so that's the recording, the keyboard. This is all the recording done in here. There's six tracks that I needed in Garageband. I mean, so this project is not that complicated. It is a simple project, Fake Disease. It's more complicated. It's substantially more complicated than the song Tragic Theme, but it's not as complicated as the songs get. I mean, some songs get much more complicated than this, and you'll see this in later videos. It might take me like 2 hours to explain just Fruity Loops and then in Cubase. I don't think Cubase will take as long because it's all mixing, but I think when we look at songs like Esther, we're gonna see. I mean, Esther wasn't even done perfectly. So anyway, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna cut this video short right here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learnt something, or if not, just showed you in your curiosity of how I did it, and hopefully it will help you when you do something. You might say, oh right, it can be done. I thought I couldn't do it before, and he's shown me that it's possible to do, and just seeing these tracks floating about could give you a good insight. So anyway, goodbye now, goodbye, and see you soon.